What's up, guys? We are Tottenham TV here. We're here with Flex from the United stand, previewing the big game on Monday night between Manchester United and Spurs. Flex, what's going on with Man United this summer? How do you feel? Obviously, you've lost to Brighton. You beat Leicester the first game of the season. What's your feeling going into the game?
What was I feeling going into the Brighton game?
No, what's your feeling going to the Spurs game? But anyway, you can talk about Brighton if you want.
No, let's leave that. Let's leave that. No, my day's already been brightened up by coming to see you. You know, going into this game, it's massive pressure on Jose, man, and the club at the moment. Not just off the back of that result, but with the summer as well and how it worked out. I think, although it's the third game of the season, so it's in normal events, in normal times, you would kind of not want to look too much into it, if win, lose or draw, because it's the third game of the season. But I think off the back of the manner of the defeat that we lost to Brighton, if we were to lose against you lot at home especially, it'd be meltdown with a lot of fans, man. But I feel like what will save us is two things. One is for somehow, don't ask me why or how, we seem to raise it in the big games, at least at home. You know, last season, the only team out of the top six we didn't beat there was Man City. But we beat you, we beat Chelsea, we beat Liverpool. Yeah,
you had a good record.
And Arsenal's Arsenal. So do you know what I mean? So I think we do raise it against the bigger sides at home. I think that's one of the factors. And the second factor that will save us, I just think, is that you lot just don't travel well to Old Trafford. Because even last year it was a close game. I remember Ali having that chance where I pulled out on the 6-yard line. He should have definitely scored. It just didn't happen. And then it was a tight, cagey game, not much in it. And then I think 80-odd minute, Martial done the business. But it was a tight game. But I think that will save us.
We actually haven't scored since Pochettino has taken over at Spurs at Old Trafford. We haven't scored. We haven't got a point. We've lost. So it's not a good. We don't travel well since Pochettino came. But maybe that will change on Monday. But what's going on with Jose at the moment? Is something going wrong, or is everyone just kind of blowing that Brighton defeat out of proportion, or is it kind of problems from last season, maybe that was boiling under the surface and it's maybe coming to the fore now?
It's a collection of things, man. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like everything's rosy because I'm on a rival fan channel and just try and act like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm just going to say it as it is. Mourinho's, he's in a difficult situation. I see it from both sides because you got to remember Mourinho signed a contract extension in the middle of last season. And, you know, from then you're thinking the board would obviously go on to back him, you know.
It seemed a bit premature when he even signed it last season.
You know what I mean? It wasn't going amazingly well, but at the time you kind of think, you know what, at least the club's showing some intent that maybe we're going to see some changes now. They're fully behind him. We're going to see a new way of football, etc., new players, etc. So I see why Jose is maybe pissed off. But on the other side of it, the players that we've already got at our disposal, he should be getting a much higher output out of them players. Just as a coach, as a manager, on that training field, that philosophy that is non-existent at the moment, that identity that is non-existent, he should be doing a lot better with the squad that we currently have. So it isn't all Jose's fault. But, you know, the board, definitely there's something going on there. Ed Woodward is carrying on like a madman. Jose has come out and obviously said he wanted the centre-backs. But then there's the argument of he's bought centre-backs, he's bought Lindelof, he's bought by your buys, Jose. So I can understand to a certain extent why the board would potentially go, well, hang on a minute, I gave you two centre-halves. Do you know what I mean? I keep using the analogy of when a kid gets toys at Christmas and it comes around to next Christmas, they haven't played with the toys from last year. As a parent, are you're going to say, no, take them toys out the packet and play with them? Like, you're not getting more. So there's a little bit of that going on. But and again, the manner of the defeat to Brighton is what made it all flare up. If it was like we lost 1-0, we had loads of chances, just a penalty to Brighton, and then that was it. But we were thoroughly outplayed and well beaten, and that just goes to show like how bad it is at the minute.
But it's an interesting situation because obviously Spurs, since Pochettino taken over, we've played some really nice football. We've got a lot of plaudits for that, but we haven't. It's well documented. We haven't won any trophies.
Dele Alli's shit challenge. That just means he's got 0 trophies. He's trying to do 0.
But then you look at Man United since Jose took over. Now they've won a couple of trophies, but they haven't played good football, and it's hasn't been great to watch at times. But where do you stand as a fan watching your club? Would you prefer to try and play football the right way, despite maybe not with the results factor, maybe not coming away with trophies necessarily, or would you prefer to kind of play the brand of football Mourinho's playing and kind of pick up a League Cup or an FA Cup?
That's an easy question to ask for me. Like 100% not play his brand of football. You kind of feel silly as a Man United fan saying that because it's almost like Mourinho does what it says on the tin, so really we shouldn't expect anything different. So I'm not saying it's expecting him to change like his way of football.
That's how he is, yeah.
That's how he is. But for your question, I 100% would take playing more expansive football, more direct football. Like, I know it's a cliche saying, and some, especially rival fans, think that Man United fans are really cocky, but it's true. We are Man United. Like, even rival fans say to us, "This ain't the Man United we know. Like, you play. This is dead boring football, which is shit to watch."
But even Sir Alex's play was pragmatic at times. Sometimes Sir Alex, you know, occasionally he had.
But don't get me wrong. He would be solid, but there was always a counter. That's the difference. Like, we're not playing counter-attacking football. We're not playing front foot football. What are we doing? We have no identity, and like we say a lot on our shows, and it is up for debate. But I think what is very, like, across the board, no matter who you support, Man United are easy to play against. Like, do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. We've got good players who can hurt teams if they're on their game.
And I think you're tough when you take the lead. I think it's
there
tough
you go.
To get back.
But realistically, teams like Brighton and the lesser teams, those teams now, not just because Sir Alex has left, but because of the way we play, those teams are looking at it two ways. Either we sit back because Man United probably ain't going to hurt us anymore and we'll catch them on the break, or actually we'll have a go. And that's the problem right now. Teams are willing to have a go at us. So back to your question, I would 100% take playing brighter football, because, you know, you say we've won 2 trophies, but they're not 2 trophies to ride home about. Fair enough, he won the Europa League because that's all he could win that season, because we weren't in Champions League.
You had to win Europa League.
And that was after the Premier League season fell to shit. So it was only like the last third of the season, quarter of the season, whatever, that he's actually prioritised that and started dropping players because we got to the latter stages. And the EFL Cup, like, what's like? Come on, again, we're Man United. If we're getting to the days where we're celebrating them trophies, then we truly have.
I think maybe it would be easier to stomach the football if you're actually challenging for titles.
There you go.
The truth is you're not. But I feel like with Jose,
that's a good point actually. Yeah. Just before you move on, the only way this football can be justified is if he brings home a Premier League title by doing it, and we're miles off that, and we're miles off winning the Champions League. So then he's always going to have to have this pressure. I
feel like with Jose, I think he's shown it at other clubs that I think the whole squad needs to be pulling in the same direction. Everyone needs to be on the same page. Yeah. And then when that happens, I think you've seen, obviously, he's won league titles at Madrid, at Chelsea, at Inter Milan. I think it shows that when everyone's on the same page, you know, singing from the same hymn sheet, then I think he can get results. But I feel like when there starts getting a few dissenters in the squad, then all of a sudden things can break down a bit. And I think do you think that might be happening at United at the moment?
There's any United fan who believes that there isn't little things going on behind the scenes with certain players is naive, in my opinion. The Pogba situation, I think Jose done his best to try and come out and call that with a certain press conference last week, where he was like, no problem, you know, he's been the best I've asked him to be, he's been brave, he's a monster. I get that. But then Pogba's comments prior to that, before that, something's wrong. But I think that what the club have done, the board have made Jose put a lid over it to kind of dust it down and move on, because we're in the Premier League season. And, you know, the games come thick and fast. We can't afford to be having fights in the camp. The Martial business, with him going back to see his child, Sunday, did he? You know, it didn't happen for him, but he wasn't the only one. Everybody had a poor game. I think people will use him as a scapegoat because of the situation, and some fans have their opinion on him. And he just has that unhappy face. And that's just how he is. But he always just when he's on form and he's getting the ball and he's confident and he feels that he's got the backing, he will raise his game like he did for the first half of last year. But there's definitely things going on there. You know, even Jose Mourinho said the only player he's ever fined is Martial. So that's confirmed that he did get a fine for that. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't have, because maybe, I don't know, he didn't tell him he was, you know, you got to go back to work. I get that, but you can't tell someone how long to be with their child, man. We're human beings. Normal people get 2 weeks paternity. Like, so where's that gone? It's only 8 days. Do you know what I mean? So that's another story. But yeah, there's definitely discontent somewhere. But I think the harmony within the dressing room's fine, like amongst the players. You see Jesse Lingard on the Snapchat. I think the players are all fine, but in terms of the players with Mourinho's tactics and how it's clearly not right. You can see it on the pitch. You can see it.
Obviously, in the summer, we've both had fairly quiet summers, and United only signed one player.
Yours is ours is quiet. Yours is non-existent.
Silent.
Don't say fairly quiet. You haven't. Don't try to put ours. Ours is a bad.
We had a good World Cup. We had a good World Cup as a squad.
Listen, yours is non-existent, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. We've had no signings. You've had one signing.
No, we've had 2.
Okay, Deloitte as well.
I'm not going to count the third because Lee Grant is
Lee Grant.
probably never going to touch
about that, Lee
Grant. No, but you know, I laughed at that when that happened. I was like, we're a laughing stock. But realistically, I understand the thinking behind it. Our third choice keeper at that time.
Is he better than Lindegaard?
He's very good. No, he's very good. Young Portuguese guy. He needs to go out and play games. So I understand why he's gone. Romero is a fantastic second choice keeper.
Fair play.
So he's just back up. But we've got Dalot, which is a young right back who's injured at the moment. Great. But he looks like he could be an exciting. We've got him for 20 mil, and obviously Fred.
That's right. But if I was, obviously Mourinho spent a lot of money. It's well documented since he came to Man United. I think it's over 300 million or something like that.
300 M's.
I think Pochettino's net spend's been something like 40 million, something ridiculously low.
100 mil was Pogba and 100 mil was Lukaku. Like, because of the inflation of the market, when you actually break it down,
50 million for Fred.
Yeah, so now it's gone past that.
Was it 50 or 40 for Matic?
Yeah, 40 million for Matic.
It's a lot of money. 30 for Bailly, 30 for Lindelof.
He spent money, but I'm just saying, like, those two players were 100.
My question is, if I offered you a squad swap, would you take it?
No. But a manager swap, yeah.
You'd take a manager swap, not a squad swap. You wouldn't take the whole situation, the whole vibe. You wouldn't. If I was asked you to swap situations.
No, I think the players that we got under a manager that makes them play, I think will play you off the park. I think that Spurs, you play very good football and you got a good philosophy. I almost feel though that like Pochettino's like maxed out the level that you can go without adding more players in and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, like Harry Kane will get slightly better, but to me he's like pretty much world-class striker, not far off if he's not. Dele Alli, I feel like you can get a bit better, but not the players that you got. I don't think they're going to get better within themselves to make you win a Premier League title. Whereas I think if we had a manager that made our players tick, your Pogba's, your Lukaku's, your Sanchez's, to me, I'd look at that and they're players that will win me a Premier League title if in the right system. So no, I wouldn't take your squad, but I might take your manager.
Well, I feel with Spurs we're fairly young, but we're not as young as obviously we were a few.
Yeah, and that too. You're not even that young anymore.
We used to have the youngest squad in the Premier League. That's not the case anymore. It's like we've got like a nice blend of experience and youth. I feel, but
I feel short all the time.
It's the annoying thing, but we didn't sign anyone this summer. We kind of needed those couple of additions, which is very frustrating. But I still feel like our squad can easily compete.
Well, if you think about it, it's hard because if you got exactly the same squad, how could you realistically expect anything different from last season?
Because the younger players like Ali and Davinson Sanchez, they're going to improve. There were players like Wanyama, Lamela, Toby, who we weren't really available last season, who are going to be available now.
Toby wanted to leave. Like that was
He's a pro. He's not going to let that affect
He's even going to get a game though. Sanchez and Finger his favourite. That's it.
Yeah, but we played a back three against Fulham.
Right. Okay.
So maybe I'm hoping. What I'm hoping.
But he never played though. Did Toby play?
Yeah, he played.
Oh, he played.
He started. Yeah.
Even know. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I'm what I feel like is we're going to play that formation England played in the summer. That's how we played on Saturday.
Yeah, we did, definitely worked for you, and obviously a lot of your players were in that formation. I just think, from the way I see it, I feel like Tottenham they need that little bit more to push on to really challenge. Because really, even though you came second that year, when did you come?
That was
the year before last, isn't it?
Yeah, year before last.
You didn't challenge. You didn't challenge for it. Like that was when you were trying to put a little bit of pressure on.
We got 86 points. No, it was on Chelsea.
Chelsea, sorry, trying to put, but it wasn't real pressure. You've never been first.
We were never first.
You never first with yours to lose. So for me, you're not realistically challenging.
We always get unlucky somehow. You know, Chelsea didn't have Europe that season. Leicester didn't have Europe that season. They had so many less games. That's how it goes.
And also that's what I'm saying. You say it's unlucky, which.
You know, we got 86 points, which is a very good
it's a good return, but not good enough. And the thing is, you say it's unlucky, but it's just like, is it really unlucky, or is it like you just need to invest in your squad to take it that bit further? Like, you've got a good basis. I think if you add some more players into there and some more depth, like, because past your starting 11, it's not really that great.
We had a fairly strong bench on Saturday, but you're looking at United. Do you feel what kind of players from obviously? Maybe like Harry Kane, obviously you'd probably take from the Spurs lineup and whatnot. But where would you have invested if you had given the extra money for Man United this summer?
There was all this hype about a centre half. Yeah, we've got 5 centre halves at the club. Now, don't get me wrong, the likes of Phil Jones, I don't think is good enough, and Smalling as well has a lot of off days. I think Smalling is better than Jones, but he's still maybe not quite the mustard we need. You got Rojo, where to me, if you can get him playing with confidence, I've seen him put in good performances. And then obviously you got Lindelof and Bailly that Jose bought. So for me, when I went into that transfer window, a centre-half wasn't really a priority. Like, we've seen, look at the likes of Liverpool, Look at their fullbacks. Like, they've got Robertson and Trent. Young. You don't have to have, like, 5 world-class defenders to win the league. You just need to have a solid unit that knows how to work together. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and a great keeper, which we've got the best in the world. So for me, I would have looked at our right-hand side, our right wing, terrible, and our fullbacks. Luke Shaw, he might come into his own this season, but Jose clearly favours Ashley Young, and I think as soon as he's fit, he's going to walk straight back in. Luke Shaw got his first senior goal.
Did Young play on Saturday? No, he didn't play.
Ashley Young.
Yeah,
he played on the right.
He played right back,
yeah, because he's just come back and Valencia's injured and so's the lot. So Darmian is dead as well. So I understand why that happened. But for me, I would have looked at the fullback areas. Alexandra, there's a lot of talk about us getting him. That didn't happen. I would have looked at the right back, definitely. The centre mid, I would have looked at, but we did. We got Fred. And I think he'll be a really good signing. And I would have got a right winger, an actual right winger. We have Mata who plays from there, comes inside. We have Jesse who sometimes plays from there, comes inside. Rashford sometimes goes out there, doesn't look quite comfortable. Alexis is, in my opinion, he should be playing in the middle. When he's on the left wing, he's terrible. He just gives the ball away all the time. And on the right wing, pretty much the same. Martial, his best position is probably on the left. So we're so imbalanced on the right wing. So I would have looked at the fullback positions and the right winger, and we did address the centre midfield area.
Yeah, you got Fred, who didn't look great.
No, he's had a bad start. But in pre-season, he looked good in the 2 games that he played. But he's finding his way into English football. There's no way I'm going to jump on him and start.
Yeah, it's only 1 game.
It's very early. Like, do you know what I mean?
Can't speak too soon.
Exactly, but I know he's going to be a good player.
How do you see it going on Monday night?
I think it'll be a very tight game. And you know what? People might sound crazy after the back of that defeat and conceding 3 goals in 1 game. I think we'll scrape it 1-0. And I don't know.
You expect a reaction, surely?
That's what I'm saying. I expect a reaction. Obviously, the crowd will be up. I don't think we'll play like amazingly well. I think it'll be scrappy. I think like it'll be, you'll have chances. You're a good side. I just think it'll be scrappy. I think we'll win. Not when I say scrappy, I just mean like we won't be dominant. We won't be all over you from start to finish. It'll be a close game. But I think, like I said, the 2 factors that I said at the beginning of the show, the fact that you haven't won there in so long, and the fact that we just seem to get the job done against the top teams, and then we'll probably go and lose to Burnley after that.
It's 3 1-0 defeats in a row, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It's been tight. Yeah, because Mkhitaryan scored the year before that. So
the year before that, who was it? I think it was a Kyle Walker own goal.
Kyle Walker own goal, and that was the first game of the season. I remember that. So I was like,
so it's been hasn't been great going to Old Trafford the past 3 years.
No, it hasn't. So yeah, that's my prediction. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm hoping. Listen, it's hard to predict to go. To go
you ain't got a lot to go on,
just obviously in past precedent of going to Old Trafford's not been great, but I feel like we have to. This is the time now. If we're not stepping up this season and this kind of game and going to Old Trafford, asserting our authority, starting to dominate, and even if we come away with a draw, I'll be happy, a 1-1 or something. But as long as we show our quality and not hide, because sometimes in these big occasions, especially away from home, we sometimes just hide a bit. We don't play our natural game, and we can struggle to create our own chances, our dominance. And I'm hoping that is not the case on Monday. I'm feeling he could play a back 3 with Lucas and Kane up front. I think that could cause you a lot of problems, especially if Bailly plays and Lindelof plays how they did on.
If they play how they did, and that's the thing. If they play how they played, obviously we'll concede goals against any team in the league. But if they play how I know they're capable of, we could shut you out as well. Like, it just depends.
I'm pretty confident we can get a point, but the fact of the matter, we haven't scored a goal since Pochettino took over.
And normally when Harry Kane comes there, we have him on lock as well.
That's one. But
we have him on lock.
One other thing, Harry Kane has yet to score at Old Trafford.
There you go.
However,
we shut him out.
However, what he does is he breaks these hoodoos. That's what he does for fun.
The August hoodoo,
he breaks all these hoodoos. All the August hoodoo. International level, Champions League, Premier League. So as long as people keep saying he's never scored at Old Trafford, it's going to happen at some point.
At some stage in his career, exactly.
So I'm pretty, and it might happen on Monday. But what's your prediction for the game? You're going to go 1-0?
1-0, I'm saying, man. 1-0, tight, cagey affair, but I think we'll do it.
I'm feeling 1-0.
Okay.
I'm feeling 1-0.
So you don't think you're going to win?
All right. That was Flex for United Stand. Link will be in the description below. Go check out his channel for the great United content. And as always, come on, you Spurs.